Britney Spears. What the heck is going on with her? There is quite a lot to fully explain to answer that question, so I'm Adam Andrews with Where Are They Now, and without further ado, let's just jump into the situation with Britney Spears. If you feel there is any info here I have missed, be sure to leave a comment down below, as this is a situation I've only recently read up on. Now, after having an early acting career, Britney Spears busted onto the music scene at 15 years old after signing with Jive Records in 1997 and releasing her first 2 studio albums, Baby One More Time in 1999 and Oops, I Did It Again in the year 2000. Even to this day, those 2 albums are among the best-selling albums of all time, and they gave Spears the title of the best-selling teen artist of all time. She would begin to grow and take on more mature themes and a provocative style for her next albums, the first of which being Britney in 2001 and In the Zone in 2003. And then she would even go on to be the executive producer of her 5th album 4 years later for Blackout in 2007, which is regarded as her absolute best work. Unfortunately, around this time, still in 2007, a few months after the 25-year-old divorced her husband of 3 years, Kevin Federline, Britney had the incredibly public breakdown that pretty much everyone who knew who she was heard about. Most people have seen the incredibly famous picture of Britney and her incomplete, freshly shaved head following the Princess of Pop checking out of rehab. That was followed by Britney checking into, then out of, then back into again another rehab center in Malibu, a huge custody battle with Federline over her 2 sons, which she eventually lost, hitting a photographer's car with an umbrella, 2 simultaneous counts of hit and run, a failed MTV Video Music Award comeback performance, a controversial relationship with her manager Sam Lufty, her sister Jamie Lynn Spears becoming pregnant at 16, and then around the beginning of 2008, she was rushed to the hospital and put on psychiatric hold when she refused to bring her kids back to Federline. All of this had her involuntarily placed under a conservatorship. Basically, for anyone who doesn't know, a conservatorship is when a judge appoints a guardian or protector to basically manage another person's finances and or life due to old age, physical, or mental limitations. For Britney, her conservatorship was split into 2 parts, one for estate and finances and another for her as a person, and both of these were controlled by her father and a group of lawyers up until 2019 when he stepped down as the personal conservator due to health problems. Under the conservatorship, she released 4 albums: Circus in 2008, Femme Fatale in 2011, Britney Jean in 2013, and Glory in 2016, with a 4-year concert residency at Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. She also made a bunch of TV appearances and was a judge on the US version of X Factor for a little while. The conservatorship had power over her finances and career, so like her album Circus in 2008, which was much more lighthearted and poppy, it was likely due to the conservatorship trying to turn around her public image, but the control it had over her personal life was much more extreme. You would expect that it would oversee her visits with her sons, but it also had control over if she could get remarried and even if she could have a baby again, with the conservators not even allowing her to have her birth control removed. Britney was forced to go on tour, take medication she didn't want to, and go into rehab, and the New York Times obtained court records that showed that the conservators even had control over things like the color of her kitchen cabinets, and the New York Times also alleged that her phone and bedroom were bugged by staff who had worked for her father. The last bit of information came about in February of 2021 when the New York Times premiered a documentary called Framing Britney Spears, which documented her rise, fall, treatment by the media, and created a pretty huge public interest in her conservatorship. Now, before that, in 2019 and 2020, after her father stepped down as her personal conservator, Britney, through her lawyers, made it pretty clear that she didn't want her father to be in control of handling her career anymore at all, with her lawyers saying that the singer is, quote, afraid of her father and that she refuses to go back to the stage as long as her father is still in control. Now, back in June and July of 2021, with a ton of hashtag Free Britney fan support outside the courtroom, Britney Spears gave a court testimony in which she pretty explosively claimed that she was forced to perform, was forced to be medicated, and prevented from having more kids all under the conservatorship, and that the conservatorship itself, which had lasted nearly 14 years, was doing her way more harm than good, and that she is now traumatized from it. She officially asked for her father to be completely replaced as her conservator, which was followed in August with her father saying he was ready to step down and participate in an orderly transition, but he also asked if the conservatorship should continue at all, and even claimed that Britney should be given the chance to manage herself. And then in September of 2021, a judge officially suspended Jamie Spears, her father, from the conservatorship, and it officially ended in November of that year. Jamie Spears' lawyer said on his behalf, quote, "Through the conservatorship, Britney has been able to return to a path towards stability in all these phases of her life. The mission has been successful, and it is now time for Britney to retake control of her life." Now, following the conservatorship by her father, Britney has said that she was prepared to press charges against her father for financially exploiting the conservatorship and imposing excessive personal restrictions. We have already talked about those restrictions, like the surveillance of her personal space, which she had no idea about, but more court documents revealed by the New York Times showed that Britney was given an allowance of $2,000 per week, but her father's salary as conservator was about $16,000 per month, plus money given to him for office space rental and a percentage of various deals signed for his daughter. Britney's attorney, Matthew Rosengart, first raised these issues the month after the conservatorship ended in December of 2021, when Jamie requested that Britney continue to pay his attorney fees. This was followed by Rosengart claiming that Jamie wasted Britney's fortune, allegedly using it to make him and his friends richer. Specifically, Rosengart claimed Jamie gave himself around $6 million of her estate and benefited his career as a chef. Britney's legal representatives requested a formal deposition with Jamie, and he would avoid this for months, not showing up for 3 proposed dates. Jamie even countered, requesting Britney to sit for a deposition of her own, but a judge denied that request and ordered Jamie must sit down for a formal deposition and provide all documents related to the alleged electronic surveillance of his daughter. Jamie eventually appealed the judge's decision for him to sit for a deposition in September of 2022, and then Britney's mom, Lynn, also jumped into the situation, requesting that Britney cover her legal bill of $663,203. Rosengart has since filed another motion for a second deposition while they wait for the court's decision on Jamie's appeal. In the meantime, Britney was granted access to ask her former management company, TriStar Entertainment, about the surveillance allegations, which is a huge win for her. But that's just the legal battle that Britney is currently going through regarding her conservatorship. There is also a whole online Instagram feud going on with Britney's mom, Lynn, and her sister, Jamie Lynn, which, side note, I actually never noticed that Britney's parents just named their second daughter both of their names, which is hilarious. Anyways, during the court testimony back in 2021, Britney had said that she'd like to sue her whole family, and she claimed that they did nothing to help her when she was struggling during the conservatorship. Jamie Lynn posted a bunch of Instagram stories that denied Britney was talking about her, to which Britney responded with her own post where she said, quote, "There's nothing worse than when the people closest to you who never showed up for you post things in regard to your situation, whatever it may be, and speak righteously for support," which was followed by another post where the caption, in part, said, "I don't like that my sister showed up at an awards show and performed my songs to remixes. My so-called support system hurt me deeply. This conservatorship killed my dreams." And it was more of the same for a while, with the sisters making posts to their Instagrams indirectly and directly responding to each other. This was compounded by a number of televised appearances made by Jamie Lynn Spears leading up to the release of a personal memoir 2 months after Britney got out of her conservatorship. During these appearances, Jamie Lynn spoke multiple times about Britney's legal arrangement, which flew in the face of Britney's clear wishes for her sister not to do that, as she hadn't formally addressed the situation herself at all. That resulted in a cease and desist letter from Rosengart threatening legal action. And I ain't even done, because there was also allegations sourced from tax documents obtained by The Sun that Jamie Lynn owned a condo in Florida that was bought with Britney's money that she has repeatedly claimed to be her own condo. As for her mom, Britney has said that Lynn was the one who gave her dad Jamie the idea for the conservatorship in the first place, and that her dad was, quote, "too stupid to come up with it himself." herself, alongside a whole whack of allegations about the lack of support she has received over her conservatorship. But during all of that, following the end of her conservatorship, Britney finally married her longtime boyfriend Sam Asghari, which was controversial on its own for their large age gap. But the wedding itself was actually pretty nice, almost fairy tale-like, with will.i.am, Drew Barrymore, and Madonna all showing up. The couple announced that they were pregnant with Britney's first child since their conservatorship ended, but unfortunately they lost the baby the following month, and both of those updates were shared through Instagram. But her past romantic life has also come up again, with Britney making a ton of posts talking about previous exes like Justin Timberlake, who she says weaponized her name for fame and attention in his song Cry Me a River, where he insinuated that she had cheated on him, causing their breakup all the way back in 2002. Then, her past relationship with Kevin Federline came up when she claimed he refused to see her when she was pregnant with one of their sons, which his lawyer absolutely refused. Then, he went on the record about his relationship with Britney and the way that their two sons were embarrassed by all of her recent actions, including some scantily clad pictures she has been posting on Instagram, with Jayden, one of her sons, himself sitting down for an interview where he said, quote, "It's almost like she has to post something on Instagram to get some attention. This has gone on for years and years and years, and there's a high chance that this will never stop, but I'm hoping for me that she will stop." Which fueled her anger with Instagram posts and claims that he won't get anything from her after he turns 18. And then, on top of all that, another of her exes, her first husband, Jason Alexander, broke into her Thousand Oaks, California home with a knife to, quote, crash the wedding, referring to her marriage to Sam, which was taking place that same day. Reminder, those two were married for a total of 55 hours. Britney has also made her music comeback in August of 2022 when she released the song Hold Me Closer, collaborating with Elton John. The song debuted at number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 while quickly shooting to the top spot on iTunes in over 40 countries. She has also signed a $15 million deal with Simon & Schuster for a tell-all memoir which will be released this month. Over the past year since she escaped her conservatorship, Britney has been more and more vocal on social media, with her posts becoming more and more odd and even repetitive, which has caused fans to express their concern for her well-being. But that's pretty much everything you need to know about what is currently happening with Britney Spears. While you leave your thoughts down below, I've been Adam Andrews, this is Where Are They Now, and I'll catch y'all on the flippy flop. Stay safe out there.